live side splits. I'm going to try and breeze right through this so you can get back to your activities. Today is Thanksgiving Day, so if you have other stuff you got to do, I totally understand. Let's do this. Hip cars. We're getting right into it. I am not celebrating Thanksgiving because I am traveling and I am on the other side of the world and I have nobody to celebrate Thanksgiving with other than you. But don't feel bad for me. I am just starting my day and I get to spend it free of all of the Thanksgiving obligations, like talking to the creepy weird uncle, right? I'm just kidding. All right, let's go. Hip cars. High knee, open, ankle up, leg down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, leg down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, leg down and back. That's 3, I think. I might have miscounted already. That might have been 4, but that makes this 4. And 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Clearly, I slept much better than yesterday because my hips are already feeling a lot better. Galleta, I tried my best to sleep more. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. High knee, ooh, I'm falling. Open up, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. I completely forgot to start counting, but I think this is close to like 6. So we'll just count this as 7, 8, 9, and the last one, 10. Whew. Okay, shake out those legs, do a little dance, give them a little pound, soften up those muscles that are flexing so hard right now. That looks a little bit aggressive. You don't have to hit yourself as hard. Okay, hip car is going backwards. Let's go. Back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last one, 10. Shake out those legs one more time. Your hips are probably getting a lot more tired because these muscles are working really hard. 1, to stabilize you while you're balancing, and also to lift that leg. Tighten out those hips, and let's go. Next round. Back, side, ankle, knee. Ooh, there we go. That was the first one on this side for that hip for me. Lots of big cracks. And number 2 feels good. Number 3 feels good. All right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. All right. That is the hip cars. We're done with warm-up exercise number 1. Take a second to grab a sip of water to stretch out anything that feels weird. Since that was the first warm-up exercise, you're probably going, oh, okay, I'm feeling maybe my back, maybe my hips. So take a second, enjoy the time. I'm trying to drink this coffee, but it's way too hot. Way too hot. Okay, so no coffee for me. Let's get into the next warm-up exercise, the elephant walks. Oh, they look a little bit like this. We're just trying to get into this L shape. We're trying to feel the stretch building in the hamstrings. We're trying to bring the belly button down towards the ground. And if you can't bend that far, you can't fold that far, don't worry. It doesn't matter. As long as you're making progress, as long as you're making an effort in the right direction, it'll happen eventually. That's how progress works. All right? If your knees are a little achy, they're a little sensitive, and it hurts to lock them out, you can give them a slight bend and focus on folding the belly button to touch the thighs first. And then you can slowly straighten them. Still works the hamstring muscles. and especially in the elephant walk, it's basically the same thing. Cool? All right. Take a couple of deep breaths here. We're just hanging out. This is the warm-up. Feel the stretch building in the hamstrings. Maybe you'll feel a light stretch building in your glutes. And now we're gonna bend one knee and straighten out the other leg. This is the walking part of the elephant walk. What we were just doing was just chilling. Okay, bend one knee at a time, straighten the other leg, and keep on switching. You can do this nice and slow. Really feel that hamstring. You're gonna feel almost things shifting around in your leg. Ugh. And that is totally normal. That shifting, that adjusting, all the movement of whatever is going on inside your leg is exactly what we want. All right, go ahead, keep going, take it nice and slow. At some point, magically, things will suddenly feel smoother, and you might not even notice it because it's like gradually you're getting smoother and smoother with the movement. It's feeling more and more natural. But at some point, your belly button will be much lower. Your hips will be moving a little smoother, a little faster as you bend your knee from side to side. Maybe you got something interesting going on one of your legs. Right now, my left hamstring, there's like something that almost feels like there's um, like a little beam inside my leg that's like kind of getting shifted around in between my muscles. You know how in that folk story where the princess lays on the peas in over 100 mattresses and she still feels like there's something in there? That's kind of what it feels like right now in my left hamstring. After this point right here, something is just shifting a little bit, and that's cool. That's something going on with my leg. Okay. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's not an issue. I probably have a little bit of a knot in the muscle. My hamstrings have been really tight for as long as I've ever lived. Like since I was like 9, I've had tight hamstrings and I've known it. So I'm pretty sure that has been there for a really long time and not need to worry about it because that's normal for me. But if you're finding weird stuff going on with your legs, that seems really strange. Maybe you should get that checked out. I have no idea. Cool. All right, that was the elephant walk. I hope your hamstrings are feeling better. Hope your hips are feeling a little bit better. And now that we've warmed up a little bit, let's get some rotation going. Into that same position that we were just in. Bending that knee, straightening the leg, and we're going to start rotating. So right now my right leg is straight. I'm taking my left hand, putting it on the outside of my right leg. I'm pushing against it to help rotate the chest. Rotate. Point the hands back and come on back down. Other side. Straighten the left leg. Use the right hand. Push against the left leg. Push. Extend the fingers out and behind you. Look at those fingers and come on back down. The goal of this is to work on some thoracic rotation, which is just rotating your upper back. And it should feel nice. Should feel like a great stretch. It should feel like your shoulders are working really hard to pull the arm back, and you might feel like you're getting a little bit of workout at the same time. Whew. We're going to do 5 of these total. I think that was number 2 for me. And 3. Remember, we are still doing some hamstring stuff. So, if you can, exhale, fold, and bring the belly button down. This is number 4. And number 5. Whew. Okay. Shake out the leg. Shake out the arms. Loosen up. Do some high knees. I don't really know what I'm telling you to do. I'm just saying move around, flop. And if you need guidance to flop around, you can do those things. I'm going to come over to the chat real quick, take a look. Queen RR on YouTube says, Happy Thanksgiving Day. I need to stretch even more today. Good. I hope you're stretching in between a meal break. Let's see. What else we got here on TikTok. Tomney says, I love your page, bro. I will be doing these stretches before the gym. Lovely, amazing. Beth says, yes, I can tell you're more rested. Is it that obvious? My energy is up. Travel Taxi says, happy Thanksgiving. Sorry I'm late. You're never late. It's all good. I haven't heard about this story in a while. Oh, yes, the princess who feels the pee underneath her mattress. I think there's got to be a better name for it. I just can't remember it because it's also been like 15 years since I've thought about this story. All right, welcome back, everybody. Whew. If you have no idea what we do, and you're just here for good vibes, we do 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching every single day to build consistency, to build a little community. As we hang out and do stuff every single day together, it's inevitable that we become friends. And yeah, with that friendship, with the good vibes that I try to bring to the live, we try to make things a little easier to do, especially the hard stuff like suffering in the side splits. So hit follow, hit subscribe, get notified. Keep on coming back because we are here every day at 9 p.m. Eastern practicing consistency. If you're on TikTok, if you are on YouTube, the lives are scheduled and it will automatically show you whatever time it is for your time zone, and you can just click that on the profile tomorrow. You probably won't see it right now because I'm currently inside the live and I have to schedule the next one, but it will be there eventually. All right. Whew. That was the second warm-up exercise. Let's get into the third warm-up exercise, and it is called the Cossack switch. We are opening up our hips, opening up our legs. It doesn't have to be super crazy. We can adjust at any time. Point your toes out 30, 45-ish degrees, and I want you to try to drop down to one side. Keep your knees traveling in the same line as your toes are pointing. So if I were facing you, my toes are pointing you, my knee is traveling directly in that direction. I don't want it in, don't want it out, I want it directly in the same direction as your toes. Cool? From here, we're going to drop down as deep as you can while keeping the heel on the ground. We're going to feel that pressure in the front of the ankle. We're going to feel that stretch in the Achilles tendon, in the calves. We're going to feel a little bit of pressure in the hips and just enjoy it. We're just going to chill for a little bit and tweak and adjust. As long as you're feeling the stretch in there, it doesn't matter how you adjust. You can adjust by bringing your knees pointing almost directly in front of you. You can really open up that hip and point your knees out like 90 degrees that way. But as we adjust and tweak and chill, I want to talk about this leg. This leg over here is an external rotation. What that means is the heel is down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. This is external leg rotation. This is more neutral, right? This is external rotation. So why am I telling you this? We need it for the side splits in a little bit, and it helps to move the thigh bone out of the way of the hip bone so it doesn't smash into each other and make things really uncomfortable. External leg rotation. All right, let's move over to the other side and give the other side some love. We're doing the same thing. Trying to keep the heels down, put the pressure on the front of the ankle, feel the Achilles stretch, and feel the calf stretch. Plus, feel that pressure in the hip. If your knees are a little bit achy, you don't have to go as deep or as hard into this stretch. You can try to straighten out your knee a little bit instead, so there's less pressure in the knee. And when I say straighten out the knee, I mean this bone here between your knee and your ankle. You can have it more vertical, so there's less pressure on the knee. All right. Now, adjust as you need to get into this position on the other side where your heel's down, your toes up. That might mean you're putting a lot of weight into your hands and leaning really far forward, and that's okay. Once you've hung out here for a little bit, we're going to start shifting from side to side. All right, and it's going to look a little bit like this. If you are just getting started with these and you don't know how to do them, I recommend you go easy mode first and slowly adjust as you get better. Put your hands down in front of you, the same thing we've been doing this whole entire time, and help to shift your weight from side to side. Try to keep your butt pretty low. This gives you time to work on the stretched out position. There's basically half a side split right here. And get you a little bit stronger in all the movement in that deep, low position so that you move more like a badass. Okay? Now, once you're feeling like, this is pretty good, I'm good with that, I want you to experiment with removing your hands. You can still lean really far forward, but removing your hands to put all of that weight into your legs. If that is feeling good, you can try to straighten up your back, extend your arms out to counterbalance, and keep on going like so. If your knees are aching and you're more strong than you are mobile, if you want to do something a little bit different, you can come up into a half squat, come over to the other side, and then slowly focus on sinking down into that stretched position. You can come into a full squat, then slowly come down into that stretched out position at the bottom. Whatever you'd like, as long as you're building a little bit of strength while working on that mobility, we are good. Okay? Oof. I have absolutely no idea how many we've done, but I hope you've been doing a lot of them, and I hope they're starting to feel smoother and better, and you're probably getting to the point where you're like, okay, they're not just smoother and better, they're also getting worse and worse. Because I'm not strong enough to hold these positions anymore. Okay, if that's the case, come on up, relax, shake it out, give yourself a quick break. We're getting into some stretches. Take a water break, move those hips, shake out the legs, and I need to go grab my cushion. The first stretch that we're doing is the hamstring stretch. And the way we are doing it is like so. We're putting one leg on a cushion of some sort. We're putting the leg we want to stretch in front, and we're folding down. That is our variation of the hamstring stretch. So go grab your cushion. If you don't have a cushion immediately at the moment, you can use a pair of sneakers you don't care about, some flip-flops. Just put your knee on top of the foam. I have a couch cushion. I've been joking about stealing your kid's pillow or your dog's bed, but it's Thanksgiving. That seems a little mean. So find something else. Okay, let's see. Reno Ray says, "How low can you all go? Because I can't go that low." That is totally normal. That is totally okay. It takes time to build up strength and mobility. It's totally possible that you're like stuck right here. And there's lots of different things that might get you stuck here. One of them being not feeling like you're strong enough in this part of the motion, this like deep squatting part. I'm rotated 90 degrees, by the way. So if I'm looking weird, that's why. From here, my legs are, same plane. If you're feeling pretty weak and haven't trained sort of the range of motion down here from parallel to the floor and lower, it's going to be really hard to drop that last little bit. You're going to get stuck right here. And that's totally okay. That's part of what happens when you just aren't ready and capable. So if you want to experiment with different ways of getting down into that deep position and coming out of it first, it might help to teach the movement a little bit more so your brain figures out how to drop down lower. Because some of it you probably can do, you just don't know how yet, and you just need a little bit of practice, right? If you can squat down pretty low, like you can get down to here, you can pretty much get down to the same position with your leg open, right? If this is where you get stuck, then experiment with maybe sitting on something really low and hanging out in this position a little bit and trying to get up. This particular example is very, very, very low, but I hope you get the intention, which is to get you a little bit stronger in these lower, more compacted positions so that it's more comfortable for you to get into similar positions, but with your leg out instead, right? Do you see how, I shouldn't have thrown the blocks away. You see how this position is basically just sitting on the yoga blocks but with the leg extended out to the side instead of the knees pulled in. All right, so as you get stronger in these lower positions, you'll start to become more comfortable with going lower and lower. And then at that point, it's a balance of strength and mobility. Maybe your leg doesn't go out quite this far. But if you were to, how do I say this, find a table, right? And you're like, or like a big Captain Morgan's pose on a big chair or something, and you can lift your leg actually kind of that high for some other reason, then technically you're capable of doing the same thing and bring your leg all the way across below, right? And then it just becomes you're totally capable. You just haven't quite gotten used to the movement pattern enough. And now all I have to do is practice a little bit more. Cool? Okay, I'm going to come back to the camera real quick to see if something has been responded to in the chat. Right, this is, I've never thought to use the yoga blocks like this before. Rena Ray says, okay, thanks. Okay. Yeah, yoga blocks are like strangely versatile. After getting my first pair a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh, you know what? I can use them for everything. They're my chairs. They support me. And the goal of most of these exercises is to get really low to the ground, right? So having a little bit of support, whether it is to support your butt at the bottom position, maybe you need to be a little bit higher up because you're not quite strong enough, or maybe your muscles are too tight, you can't balance because you keep on trying to fall backwards. That's all a really good reason to have some tiny stools. Cool. All right, where are we at? Hamstring stretch. Whew. In the hamstring stretch that we are doing, I hope you've got your cushions. We only need the cushion for this one move, so if you have strong, healthy, happy knees, you don't really need them. I just recommend it because I want you to enjoy the rest of the life and not have knees that you're upset about, right? Let's go. We're focusing on pointing the hips forward, the shoulders forward, the head forward, and now the leg forward. I want you to almost pull that leg in from the side. It's going to look like this. I don't want you to extend out. I want you to pull in and then bring the belly button down towards the thigh. Ooh, your hamstrings are going to tighten up immediately. They're going to be like, whoa, what you doing? You might feel a little bit of a stretch in the Achilles tendon in the calf because the hamstring muscle kind of connects into just below the knee. So maybe it's pulling a little bit on all the other muscles that are right next to it. What I want you to do is take a big, deep inhale and slow exhale and see if we can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Okay, exhale. Okay. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. As you get deeper into the stretch, your hamstrings are going to be more and more unhappy with you, and that is okay for now. Keep on trying to bring the belly button down towards the thigh. We're going to hold this position. We're going to try and get deeper into the position for the next 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. I feel like I counted really fast. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. This is a position, now that I've thought about it, where you can absolutely give some yoga blocks for your butt to give it a little extra support. I don't know why I threw the pillow away. Pretend I didn't do that. It's totally possible for you to rest in basically the same stretch, right? Right now, because of the cushion, we're using our knee to get ourselves into this position, right? And we're able to use our muscles to control how much we lean forward. If we bring our butt back towards our heels, right, we're lower to the ground and our chest is a little bit more vertical, right? But if we square up those hips, maybe our chest is a little bit more closer to horizontal. And if you have yoga blocks, you can substitute your knee situation just the same. You can still have the knee if you want, I guess, but you can sit your butt on the yoga block and you can get close to this position that we were working in. I like to do this on the knee because it's easier to focus and shift your weight, but if your knees are getting tired, they're a little bit uncomfortable, you can definitely just elevate your butt a little bit and focus on one leg stretching at a time. Cool? All right. That is the hamstring stretch on one leg. We got the other leg to do. So get that cushion back, get back into position, and let's continue. Once again, hips forward, chest forward, head forward, leg forward. Pull the leg in. Bring the belly button down. Ooh, hamstrings are tightening up. Oh, I did that too fast. The hamstrings tightened up too fast. Ooh. And let's do the deep inhale and exhale. Inhale. Slow exhale. Get deeper into the stretch. A couple more regular breaths. Try to relax. Try to let the muscles in the hip go, in the low back go for a second. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, once you're as deep as you can get, your hamstrings are screaming at you. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Remember, the goal is to bring the belly button down, not the other parts of your body. So focus on belly button. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, okay. Come on up out of that hamstring stretch. Take a second to breathe. Stand. Forget that we did any of those stretches. Get rid of the cushion. We don't need it anymore. Check out the leg. I feel like there's a lot of potential for there to be pressure on the heel because you are leaning forward into that leg. So, if you need to, give yourself a little bit of a foot massage. Give it a little bit of love. We're going to be using the heels again in the side split stretch at the end. So, while you can, give it some care. Okay, let me check the chat one more time. Then we'll get right into stretch number 2. Jupiter says, thank you for your time and effort. Of course. I am here to help support you. And you don't know it, but you're here to support me because I need the motivation to do the side split stretches as well. And it's much easier for me to show up every day because I know people are going to be on the left. And I'm bringing good energy to help you stretch more. You being here helps me stretch more. And it's part of how we build community. All right? My coffee has finally cooled off to a temperature I can actually drink. Oh, and I'm chugging it. That might not be so good, but that's okay. It's a little bitter. It's a little black today. Wow. Whew, let's get into stretch number 2, the butterfly stretch or tailor's pose. In general, it looks like this. We'll bring our feet together. We're pulling it up towards our hips, and the goal is to open up the groin in the center. You want to try to bring your knees down to the ground to help with that opening process, but it's going to be really hard if you have tight hamstrings and your back is rounding and you're trying to apply pressure like this. So what I recommend is you use a wall. This puppy, this wall, is your best friend. We use it in so many stretches for so many different reasons. And what I want you to do is put your hips, your shoulder, your head against the wall so you got that nice straight line. And then you can pull your legs in and get into position. You'll notice that you'll start feeling some pressure, maybe in the back, maybe in the butt, because your body is pushing against the wall. The wall is literally helping you to stay more stable. Cool? Because you're more stable, it's much easier to focus on using the groin muscles and using the outer thigh and the glutes to open up your legs. Overall, sounds a little confusing. How do I open my legs? Which muscles am I flexing? It's going to be hard to explain. So I want you to focus on bringing the knees down to the ground. All right? Whatever it takes to do that. And once you've used your muscles and you started the process and you're trying to get stronger while moving, remember to breathe. Take your hands, apply a little bit of pressure from above, and that will help open up those hips even more. You should feel some pressure in your shoulders, in your head when you do this. And that's basically when you're pushing your legs, your body is pushing against the wall and helping to keep you stable so that you get the maximum amount of force in your legs. Whew. All right, let's go. Contract those butts and outer thigh muscles. Remember to breathe, push down, 30 seconds, go, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If you've been flexing really hard, take a break, take 5 seconds, and focus on opening up the hips while you push your hands open for a little bit. 23, 22, 21, 20. If your hips feel like they've been opened up a little bit more, go back to contracting, see if you can contract even more. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Go back to relaxing. Keep on pushing those legs. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, come out of that stretch. Hopefully, your legs have opened up and you've gotten a lot deeper than you've ever expected. But if you're curious why I was talking about contracting and then not contracting and pushing and all that stuff, it's because when you don't know what muscles you're flexing and what muscles you're contracting, you're just kind of contracting everything. Sometimes the muscles on the inside of the legs, the things that you're trying to stretch, are also contracting a whole bunch. And I wanted you to feel the difference between when you were flexing the muscles on the inside of your groin and you were fighting against your hands pushing down versus when you're trying to relax and your hands are pushing down and how it opens up here. Cool? It's going to take time to learn the difference between contracting everything down here and trying to go open up versus how do I only focus on, the outer glute and the outer thigh and that pulling function. That's okay. It just takes time. But slowly you'll figure it out as we get more reps in. Cool? Okay. Come back into some sort of not seated on your butt position. Shift your weight around a little bit and let's get into some standing pancake. That is stretch number 3. If you want, right before the standing pancake, you can take another water break and shake out your legs. Oh, okay. But we're getting to standing pancake. Standing pancake looks basically like this. We're opening up our legs decently wide. It doesn't have to be super wide. Doesn't have to be intense. Doesn't have to hurt your hips. Just decently wide for wherever you're capable of at the moment. And the goal is to fold and bring our head in between our toesies and get all the way down. Preferably with a really flat back so that you look like that. It is really hard. It is crazy hard. And so we try to get into the version where gravity gives us the most assistance, where we get the most help. That looks basically like this. It looks like you're trying to touch your toes, except your legs are wide open. All right? And that's because gravity is pulling everything over here down and helping to make this stretch harder. Whew. So we want to make sure that whatever we do, we get into gravity's favorite position. In this case, if you extend your arms, it'll feel heavier. If you hold on to something, even if it's really small and lightweight, I did not almost just throw the milk jug. If you go like this, it's going to feel crazy hard, both on your arms, on your shoulders, because you have to hold it up like this, but also at the hips. All right, so that is how you increase the difficulty of the stretch. How do you reduce the difficulty of the stretch? You're going to reduce the difficulty by standing up a little straighter. That's basically it. The more straight and upright, the more standing you are, the less pressure you're going to feel at your hips to fold. The more close to horizontal your upper body is, the more pressure you're going to feel at the hips to try and fold. All right? That's it. That's the whole thing. when we actually do the stretch, I recommend you trying to push your butt out and behind you a little bit so that you can really focus on bringing your chest down and your belly button down in between your legs. Experiment with that. And then, yeah, if your arms get tired, you can pull them in. If you're just tired in general, you can put your hands down. That's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. Get into position. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Pull the legs in. Oh, you just finished the standing pancake. If you're struggling to get up right now, that's totally normal. It's totally okay. If you're not struggling right now, maybe you didn't work that stretch nearly hard enough. And you can try to be more intense about it tomorrow. All right, for now, let's talk about what you're feeling. You're probably feeling a really intense hamstring stretch. Maybe that stretch is going up into your glute a little bit, some tingly sensations. And that is because anytime you fold forward, whether it's your legs together or your legs apart, your hamstrings are getting stretched out and they're going to be unhappy with you. We spend a whole bunch of time working on the hamstrings and doing less intense versions of that hamstring stretch, building up into this super intense hamstring stretch for a reason, because we know it's coming, or I know it's coming. And so we do the elephant walk to sort of loosen up slowly, get our hips and our hamstrings ready. And then when we do the hamstring stretch, we put that pressure onto the hamstring. And now when we do the standing pancake, we're combining all these other things into the stretch. Hopefully you felt like you were prepared properly. Because that's my goal. let me know if you needed more time. I don't know if you can really do that much more to prepare for the standing pancake. The other place you're going to feel the stretch is the inner thighs, right? And that is because these muscles right here, the adductor, their only job is to contract and pull your leg in towards the middle of your body, maybe slightly past middle. So anytime you do the opposite, you lift your leg all the way up out over here, they're going, wow, what the heck is this? Don't do that. And if they were a little bit weaker, they don't feel like they're strong enough. And I say they as if the muscles have a brain and they have a personality. Basically, your brain is involved in trying to figure out if it likes the positions that you are getting into. If you're into a position that your brain's like, well, we don't have enough strength for this, I don't want you to get into that. That's a lot of what lack of flexibility is. It's your body going, whoa, 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 hold up, stop, you can't do that. And then your muscles contracting to keep you from doing that. So a lot of stretching is actually learning to relax the muscles and help yourself get back into a position that you've been capable of. Your brain won't stop nagging at you. All right. That sounds a little crazy, but you can Google this next little bit if you want to fact check me. Surgeons who drug you so that you're unconscious, right? And they do surgery and you don't feel anything, you're completely unconscious. They can do crazy things with your arms, with your shoulders that you would never be able to do. You're like a little jello man or jello woman on the surgery table, but you wouldn't otherwise be able to consciously try to get into those same positions while you're awake. Go ahead, Google it. Anyways, your brain is doing a whole bunch to keep you from getting into situations that you can't control, right? One of them being side splits. So we train and we try to get the brain to realize, nah, this is safe. This is what I want. I can control this. I'm feeling safe. I'm feeling comfortable. And all those good feelings so that your brain goes, oh, okay, I guess, maybe. Except it's not that conscious. It's just a whole bunch of reflexes that eventually we train away so that they don't act up as much. Okay, that's enough of a spiel about flexibility and training. Let's get into the fourth stretch. We did pigeon yesterday, I think. So let's do some figure four stretches. Figure four. The fourth stretch that we do, we got options. The goal of the stretch is to figure out this thing right here. the outer hip side glute area. We want this to feel stretched. And basically, we're just bringing our chest down to this leg, and the leg is bent over. I'm going to demonstrate the figure 4. Cool. So in the figure 4 stretch, we're laying down. We're extending the leg we want to stretch. We're crossing it over to the other knee. And we are reaching our arms through that 4 triangle shape. We are pulling on that leg. And this is the whole thing. This is the stretch. From the side, hold on, let me flop around like a turtle on its back. There we go. Oh, I think I overdid it. Sorry for the wait. We are pulling this whole thing towards the chest and trying to feel the stretch out here in the outer butt side glute area. Cool? That's it. If you are feeling a little bit too much pressure on your knee, it's a little uncomfortable, you can palm that knee and pull on the knee and the leg at the same time. If your legs are shorter or you're feeling closer or maybe your arms are longer, you can maybe stick your knee and your elbow together and pull like so. Whew. That's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. Make sure you're feeling that stretch out here in the side butt, outer glute area. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, and I know it looks like I'm just taking a nap. Really focus on pulling that leg in towards your chest. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, relax that hip. You're already laying down, take a couple of breaths down here, and we're gonna switch over to the other side. Okay. The great thing about the figure 4 stretch is you control how much intensity you feel. The bad thing about the figure 4 stretch is you have to do all the work to pull your leg in, and sometimes that's just so tiring. Let's get into the other position. Leg we want to stretch crosses over to the opposite knee. Reach your arm through to help pull that leg towards you. And hold on, I'm turtling. There we go. Ooh, I made it in 2 swipes. From here, you might notice that one hip is more flexible than the other. That's okay. That's totally normal. And this is also why we train one leg at a time, so you can slowly even them out. Whew. Go ahead. Let's go. 30, 29, 28. Support your knee if you need it. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. This is our last stretch. This is our last 20 seconds before we start doing the side splits. I hope you're feeling prepared, because there's nothing left. It's just side splits. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. All right, that's it. We are done with those stretches. Whew. I was thinking about yoga blocks, and I was trying to think about different ways we can put the yoga block to work in order to make each of the stretches more effective, because we started with like a yoga block example right at the beginning, and I think it's more pigeon related than yoga block in this side tangent that I'm about to go on. But if you are struggling to fully extend your leg behind you, you can definitely try to put your leg onto a surface, maybe elevate it a little bit so that your hips don't have to lean as far down. Can I do it this way? I can, right? So like when you're in the pigeon, it's because this leg is so low that you're struggling to keep this leg behind you. If you elevate it slightly, you might be able to hit the angle that you need to hit with this back leg in order to get into this position-ish comfortably. There's some cons, right? Whatever you're putting your legs on, if you decide to do a yoga block, it's going to be much harder to shift around because the surface is kind of wobbly. You can see that the blocks are shaking all over the place. So maybe it won't work, but maybe it will work for your exact needs. So you don't have to have yoga blocks. These cost money. Not super amounts of money, but they cost money. If you have a chair, I'm trying to find a chair that doesn't have like 4 jackets on it. If you have a chair, you can probably do something pretty similar, right? And get into that pigeon position like this, all right? And still fold forward. So if you want to add in props, you want to use tools to make your life a little bit easier, that's a cool way of doing it. Try and pick something relatively stable. This is a lightweight chair. It feels a little bit shaky and creaky and it makes a lot of noise. So I wouldn't do things like step on it, but I think leaning on it is totally doable. All right, let's get rid of that chair. Let's get into some side splits. But first, I'm gonna check the chat. I felt it in my tummy too. Ooh, okay, let me think. Tummy. We are doing this. So you're feeling the stretch in your tummy. But we weren't doing the pigeon, we were doing the figure 4. Is it because you were contracting your abs trying to pull your chest towards your leg that you were feeling it here, or are you saying you're feeling a stretch in your tummy area? Ugh. I'm scrolling back real quick just to see if there's anything else I can address in a timely fashion, because I frequently go way too long without coming back, and then a comment will come in about something I was doing a long time ago. And then I'll be like trying to figure out what that's about. Okay, we got a compliment over on YouTube. Ski or Ski CC says, "You're a great speaker." Thank you. I've done like 400 of these lives. That's not true. That's a little tiny bit of an exaggeration. So, yeah, I've done a lot of these lives and I keep talking about the same topic. So I think if you also had the opportunity to do 300 plus days, 400-ish days of talking about the same topic over and over and over again, for the most part, you get really good at speaking as well. Go ahead and give it a try. I believe in you. Okay. We're about to do the side splits. Drink your last sip of water. Finish off your coffee. And while I'm sitting here drinking coffee on the floor, I'm going to remind you that we do this every single day to practice consistency. What is it that we're doing every single day? Sitting here drinking coffee? No. We do live side split stretching, and we take breaks occasionally every single day to practice consistency. That consistency, both for me and for you, builds a little bit of community. We hang out, we talk, we joke, we ask questions. I try my best to answer questions. I try to send you to better resources when I can. And that makes for a really fun little bit of community. We're all trying to work on our hips. We're trying to work on our side splits together. So if that's something you care about, that's something you want to work on, and you haven't yet, hit follow, hit subscribe, get notified, and come back for a little bit more consistency, a little bit more stretching tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that, because we do this every day. Whew. Okay, drink that water or coffee. I am from the US. Kalul Grossmanstein on YouTube. Okay. Mama, you gotta have to tell me about your injuries, and maybe I can give a little bit of advice. But in general, I'm not very good. That's not my field of expertise. So I can give suggestions, and you can test things, and let me know, because that's the only way I can get better, right? Okay, let's do some side splits. It's time. Oh, come back into standing. I hope you aren't too cooled off after all that chit-chatting I was doing at the camera. Let's get ready for some side splits. I talked about this a little bit earlier, that we are trying to get flexible, and flexibility is a lot about the brain chilling out and letting us go do things that we want to try to do, because our brain doesn't realize that it's us putting the pressure on ourselves and not the environment and our crazy animal eating animal world trying to hunt us down that's getting us into the side splits. That was a really weird way to bring that up. Okay, we're doing side splits. We're trying to feel safe. We're trying to feel comfortable. So when you do get into a deep side split position, You start falling forward, it's easy enough to catch yourself with your hands. It's easy enough to react to the thing that's happening. But when you start falling backwards, it's a lot scarier. You're like, oh no, what do I do? Ah! And so I recommend that you get really close to a wall. If you haven't yet realized, I love becoming friends with the wall for making stretches better, for helping with balance, for keeping us safe. And in this case, because the wall is here, your shoulders are going to hit first. Maybe your mid back is going to hit first. Maybe your butt is going to touch down first. Whatever it is, it's here to keep you safe. So if you stay pretty close to the wall, about one step in front, maybe 1.5 steps in front of the wall, if you fall backwards, just tuck your head a little bit so you don't smash your head first into the wall. Tuck your head, your butt, your shoulders will hit first, and it'll help keep you safe, and it'll keep you from falling all the way down and getting really scared. Cool? Just make sure you don't have a doorknob, you don't have like paintings or things sticking out of the wall that will make it really uncomfortable. Because that will suck and that will be really painful. And we don't want that. It's the exact opposite of what we want. We want to feel safe. We want to feel secure. We want to feel warm and fuzzy inside. Let's do some side splits. Open up those legs nice and wide. Fold forward. Put your hands down. Pretend like you're about to do almost a push-up. This is just testing and making sure that we can put weight into our arms so that it's easier to do this external leg rotation. What that means is your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. All right, heels down, toes up, knees up. We're basically rotating the leg so that the thigh bone doesn't smash into part of the hip bone. And once we've rotated, I want you to walk your hands back, put the weight that we shifted way over there in front of us right back into our hips, and your stretch is going to get way more intense. Way more intense. Take some deep breaths for a quick second, and then add in a little bit of wiggle from side to side to see if you can break the friction holding your feet back from sliding out. And once you are as deep as you can get for now, let's start our 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, pull your legs together, walk your hands forward, do a combination of those things, and come into a kneeling position for just a second. Relax those hips. Take some deep breaths. Give yourself a chance to relax and come back into standing when you're ready. Shake out those legs. Shake, flop, wiggle, noodle. Relax those muscles. What we just did was put our legs through intense contractions. They were trying to fight us every step of the way. They were contracting so hard. And what we want to do now is to relax them. Relax, 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 flop. You might be thinking, this is relaxation? This is really intense shaking and flailing around. Yes. So if your muscles are really tense, you're going to be like a little robot clockwork thing, right? What we want is for your legs to flop around, for your ankles to flop, for your knee to go back and forth real smooth, for your hip to wiggle and shake. And we want to do that because the only way for them to sort of do this is for the muscles to be relaxed. All right. So this is our forceful visual interpretation of are you relaxed or not? And when you're feeling a bit better, feeling nice and relaxed, you can take up the intensity a little bit. Shake, 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 wiggle, 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 and that's it. I hope you're feeling a little looser. Let's do some quick joint checks and then get it back into round 2 of side splits. The joint checks are really simple. We're just going to do 2 or 3 hip circles. You can do 2 or 3 high knees. If anything feels weird, you can do a couple more, figure out what's going on with the hip. But if it's not feeling weird, you can just keep going. We're gonna do a mini half squat, quarter squat. Put some pressure on the knees, put some pressure on the ankles, put some pressure onto the toes. Do a little bit of a calf raise just to make sure everything is working down here, because you never know. When you're in a new, intense position, maybe things are feeling weird, everything's like really tight, and maybe that impacts whatever's going on in the rest of your body. So you want to make sure it's not. That's what the tests are for. Oh, okay. We got a little bit of a paragraph coming in from Mama. I'll read that in a sec. We're going to wrap up the splits, and then I'll be able to take some time to focus on your question. Okay. Let's go round 2, side splits. Open up those legs nice and wide. Make sure you're pretty close to that wall and you didn't drift really far away. Open up those legs. Fold at the hips. Put your hands down like you're doing the push-ups. Take pressure away from your legs. Externally rotate so your toes are pointing up, your heels are down. And walk those hands back. You might have noticed that you're already way more comfortable, maybe in a deeper position than that first round. That is great. That is the goal of all the relaxing that we do in between the rounds. Breathe here for a second and do a little wiggle from side to side to see if you can get a little bit deeper. That's it. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, pull your legs in. Curl your hands forward. Take a break. Enjoy some relaxation real fast. And when you're ready, come back into standing. Let's start our little shakes. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. You can start these nice and slow and gentle and pick up the intensity as you go. Okay. I recommend you specifically adding in something that looks like a stanky leg dance move, right? Get a little bit of movement at the hips because your legs are doing, something crazy like this. So make sure it's getting a little bit of movement at the hip as well, not just your leg shaking out. So if you want to turn it into just dance time, that's fine with me. If you want to do focused stanky leg, that's cool with me too. I don't know what you're doing. You just have to face your own family and the other people in the vicinity when you do it. When your legs are feeling loose, when they're feeling good, let's do our quick joint checks real quick. Hip circles, high knees. I already did a couple of these. Mini squat. Pressure on the knees, pressure on the ankle, come up on those toesies. And once you have checked all those things, we're probably pretty good. We're pretty close to doing round 3 of the side splits. So since that is the end, I'm going to throw in one more call to action. Everybody, keep shaking your leg while I do this. Shake, 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 wiggle, 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 wiggle. We do this every day to practice consistency, to build community, and make a bunch of progress towards our middle splits, our side splits, our hip stuff. So if that sounds interesting, if that sounds fun, if you like what this is, training together, training live, I'm doing the training here too, right? Like this isn't just some recording on the internet. I'm suffering and I'm struggling and my hips are tired or whatever it is. I'm drinking my coffee, trying to keep my energy up so I can entertain you while we work out. And if you like that, then keep coming back. We do this every single day. My profile will have a scheduled live the pre-scheduled stuff will be up in a couple of hours because this is currently using up the most recent live scheduled thing. If that sounds confusing, don't worry about it. Just find my profile in like 3 hours and there'll be another thing to click at the bottom that says live, whatever time. Okay, that's it. Let's go. Oh, side splits. Close to that wall. 1.5 steps away. Open up those legs, nice and wide. Slowly get as deep as you can. Fold at the hips. Put your hands down. Breathe for a second. Chill if you need to. Externally rotate the legs. Your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are up. Walk those hands back to put the pressure back into your legs. If you are close enough to the wall, you might be able to put your butt on the wall and sort of form this tripod with your butt and your feet. Oh, I'm sliding out. Okay, maybe not. If you have grippy feet or your surfaces are a little stickier, then you might be able to just hang out like that for a little bit. But I want you to do that last little wiggle to break the friction. So the exact opposite of being sticky. And once you're as deep as you can go, let's do our final 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. I don't think I've said this today yet, but if at any point your stretch is getting a little too intense in any set of muscles, you can walk your hands forward and back. When you walk your hands forward, it becomes more of a side split or a straddle. If you walk your hands back, it becomes more of a pancake, especially if you're trying to fold forward at the same time. And those are all really good lower body hip stretches. So you don't lose anything from switching in between either of them. Cool? All right. I have talked so long, I have completely forgotten what number we counted to, but let's just go for another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward, pull your legs in from underneath you. Breathe. Kneel and breathe. I'm gonna fix my glasses so I can see. And let's come back into standing. Shake out those legs so that you can go back to whatever else you have to do today with confidence that your legs are gonna work and you can walk around safely. All right, shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. We've been in the past calling these noodle legs, noodle arms, ramen noodles, pastas of all sorts, spaghetti, rigatoni. I can't name any more pastas off the top of my head. Penne. Yeah, okay. We're gonna move on from that topic. Flop, 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 flop. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And once your legs are starting to feel a little bit more normal, I want you to not stop. I want you to keep going. Give it a little extra love. I'm pretty sure we did 3 side splits, right? The first one sucked, the second was good, and this was the third. Yeah, okay. The first one sucked is pretty normal. It's the first time you're getting to that position. So when I say the first one sucked, I'm just trying to remember if we had the sucky phase, right? And then the second phase, we're like, ooh, things are better. And then this third one, when you're extra tired and you're like, oh, man, I'm glad it's finally over. Just retracing my steps so I know what I'm talking about. Okay. If you haven't, do your dance moves. Do the stanky leg. Bring your knees in and out, in and out, in and out. Move at that hip. If you don't like the dance moves and you find it silly for some reason, that's okay. I understand. You can go right back to our first exercise, our first warm-up exercise, the hip cars. You might even feel that you can move through that range of motion super smooth now compared to when we started. That left leg is the first leg that I started with today, and I was really achy and really not doing a great job. I couldn't lift the leg to the side. It was like kind of dropping down here before I brought it back. But right now, it feels so smooth, so easy, so gentle, and really, I should do more of these at the end because it feels like it's so rewarding. What about the other leg? Oh yeah, it feels so good. If you have not done this and you've been doing the lives with me a bunch of times and you know we start with the hip cars and it feels really uncomfortable and it's really rough, try it now. It feels so good. My hips feel so smooth. Wow. I don't know how I've never tested this. Usually at the end, I'm just like, oh God, we're done. I'm going. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go do something else. But apparently it works. All right. If you have suddenly just tried the hip cars and have done all that hip stuff, then we probably don't need it. But for safety concerns, because I care about you, let's do some quick checks anyway. Do a couple of hip circles. You don't have to do very many. High knees. We're just testing that everything works, everything feels good, everything can generate power so that you don't get into some sort of weird trouble because your legs are too tired. All right, that's it. I hope you had fun. I hope you feel proud of yourself. Thank you for coming in and practicing consistency with me today on Thanksgiving. And I hope you feel great. All right, let's see. Time to look at some chat. Ganasti says it's the final countdown. Yeah, it's the final countdown that never ends because I just start talking about random things. We had a whole bunch of people come in and follow. Lovely. Thank you for joining me. If you don't know, we do 45 minutes at this point, I think 66 minutes of live side split stretching every day to practice consistency, build some community, share some good vibes, answer questions, just in general, make it easier for us to show up every day to suffer on the ground while we do some stretches. Cool. And if you like that, if that's something that sounds awesome, then you should be here. We do this every day. Hit follow, hit subscribe, do all those things, get notified, keep coming back, and we will be here to stretch together. I've been working on the technical things on the side with the profile. We're scheduling the lives on YouTube. We're scheduling the lives on TikTok. So you should be able to click right in from the profile. I know that not everybody gets a notification when I go live. I'm pretty sure both platforms, or all the platforms, Instagram included, just chooses like 10% of the group and it sends out a notification and it sees how people react because they don't want to bombard everybody with notifications. And I do a live every single day. So if you're really not liking the notifications, they probably don't want to bug you too much. So maybe you need to schedule a little alarm, but the live button is going to be available on the profile in a couple hours after this when I get back to my phone and schedule all the things for tomorrow. Cool. Gayeta says, I needed this after cooking all day. Yeah, if you've been standing all day with your back hunched over, trying to get meals prepared and produced, then I'm glad you were able to take a little bit of a break. Move your legs, move your hips, and I hope your hips feel smooth like butter, like my hip cars right at the end, because it's huge game changer between the beginning of the hour and the end of the hour, and I'm so excited and pleased about it. I can't help but keep talking about it. Okay, Gayeta, thank you so much for being the first person on. I appreciate you, and for staying on all the way to the very end. Ganasti, it's good to see you again. I'm gonna keep on scrolling real quick to see who else has a comment. Erica followed. Welcome, Erica. I think I saw a question. Ooh. Erica says, what's some good moves I could do to stretch my upper stomach? Thank you. Ooh, okay. Upper stomach, I imagine, is sort of at the lower ribs. This is under the pectorals, I guess, is what I imagine the upper stomach is. What you could do is sort of just have really bad posture, like you ate a big meal, and see if you can open up this area just by leaning back a little bit. Obviously, doing this on the standing like this puts a lot of pressure into your back, so you don't have to do it quite this way. But this could be just enough of a stretch that your muscles relax. If you're just asking this because these ab muscles are tensed and scrunched up, that could be just enough to help you relax. If you want to really stretch them, I think you probably have to add a little bit of an angle too, and just focus on one at a time, because it's pretty hard to get enough of a stretch from them by themselves. If you have pretty comfortable hips, you can try to do the back bend like this. I think most of it is felt in the lower abs. It's not going to be as powerful for the upper abs. Let's see, what else we got? What else we got? I think in general, the upper abs are a little bit harder to stretch. So I would combine two different angles, right? I would open up the chest and then I would add a little bit of a lean backwards at the same time to get sort of from the side. It might look a little bit like this. I'm leaning back and I'm adding a sideways thing to really get a little bit bonus extra stretch in the upper abs. Let me know if that combination of stretches works. And if I remember, I will go do some homework and do some research and get back to you. But you'd have to come back tomorrow in order for me to give you that answer. Or I guess I could DM you. That also kind of works. Okay. Rena Ray says, I don't know, maybe I was doing it wrong. This was also about abs. We got lots of ab questions today. If you're feeling it in your tummy, doing the, what was it, the pigeon, really trying to think about what is happening here. What could we be doing? It could be that you have just really tight hip flexors. And the thing that got stretched out the most is muscles close to your tummy, and you're just thinking that it's your tummy that is feeling the stretch. But realistically, I got no idea. I don't know if I can be any more help. Keep on doing them, and if anything feels particularly painful or wrong, then you probably need some adjustment. If there's no pain and you feel comfortable doing them, I mean, comfortable in that it's a stretch, so it's not comfortable, but there's no particular amount of pain that is ow-y, then you can probably keep going and see what happens. Cool. All right. Let's see what we got left in the chat. We got a whole bunch of people hitting follow and joining in. Lovely, lovely. Thank you, everybody. Gayeta says, good night, chat. Good night. Thank you for sending the finger heart. All right. Vegas Becky reposted. Yay! I think we're pretty much at the end of the live and it's just Q&A and chit chat now, but maybe people will enjoy that and stay for that. Okay, let's see what we got on the YouTube chat. We got the question about back pain, and we got a couple of quick things from Steve Catanio 853T. You're not a physical therapist or doctor, are you? No, I am not a physical therapist or a doctor. Any recommendations that I make are not going to substitute what an expert is going to be able to offer you with their very advanced education. Saying that aloud, that might have come out a little bit sarcastic sounding. That was not the intention. That was just me thinking the sentence as I was going and holding that monotone because that's just how I talk, but I'm trying to make up a sentence at the same time. Yeah, the best I can do is offer advice from things that I've done and things that I've read. And most of the time, if I can't answer a question at all, I'm going to send you off to better resources or say, I got no idea. I think that's the best that I can do. So, we're going to continue. We got another comment for, I think, for Erica Kelly's question about how to release the upper abs, and the suggestion is, hi, cat cow would be good. I think that is what the comment is responding to. And yes, cat cow is basically arching that back forward and back, right? So it's the same type of stretch as sort of opening up the chest and pointing it up. I think in yoga, there's like something called the camel stretch that looks a little bit like this. The end goal is to open up your chest, round your back backwards. That is probably the main thing that will hit the upper ab area, upper core. Okay, we are going to revisit Mama's question. I see some very technical anatomy stuff, so I probably won't be very good or helpful for this, but I will try my best to send you to somebody who seems to be better at this than me. Any good stretches for my injury? Mama on YouTube says, I have a disc issue at C5, C6 in my neck. Basically, the disc is bulging a bit on the left side and is pressing slightly on the space where the nerves and fluid normally are. Whoa, okay. It causes pain, stiffness, and sometimes nerve-type symptoms. All right. that is way beyond my skill or understanding of the situation. For everybody else, C5, C6 is the cervical spine, which is basically just technical for your neck. C5, C6 is sort of lower down on your neck and not the very tippy top of your neck. It's probably where a lot of the pressure in your neck is from staring at your phone like this all the time. So C5, C6 is probably something to be concerned about for most people now because we spend so much time on our phones. Okay, I just reread the question and I am going to be of absolutely no help. But seeing as you know all these things about your C5, C6, and the bulge and the symptoms that you're experiencing, I assume you've gone to see a doctor about it, and you're gonna have to go find some more specialists. I can't help you. I'm sorry, but I do hope that you keep on putting effort into taking care of this problem. All right. In general, for when questions come in about the back and I guess the neck, I refer out, and refer out sounds like I actually have information, but there is an account on YouTube called Low Back Ability, and him and Knees Over Toes guys work pretty closely together with very similar philosophies towards training to strengthen the things that are weak in your body after surgery, after big injuries, so that you can regain function and desensitize from pain. I don't know if that'll work for you, but, and I'm pretty sure they're also not doctors, so they can't really give you a very clear, precise action plan for your situation. But if you would like to start training a little bit and experimenting with some of that philosophy, that is an area that you can go try. Cool. All right. Alec 400 on TikTok says, Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I think most people on my lives on TikTok are coming in from the US. So happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys have a great time, whether it's with family or maybe with friends. And I hope you're sending good vibes out into the universe. That sounds super woo-y, but you know, be good people, have fun, give thanks, and share the love. Cool. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, and we are all done. Thank you for practicing on Thanksgiving. I wasn't expecting a particularly big audience, so thank you for being here. That's it. I hope you had fun. Keep practicing consistency. Eat good food. Enjoy the evening, and I will see you tomorrow. It'll be scheduled and live in the profile thing, so you can click it next to. Mama says, thank you very much. I'll be back tomorrow. Lovely. Hope to see you soon. Okay, closing off. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, 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 bye. You don't have to listen to me ramble anymore. You can go hang out with other people. Bye.